Today we're covering the top 10 Etsy seller questions in less than 10 minutes. Let's get into it. If you have an Etsy question that is not on this list, definitely leave a comment below and we will answer your question in a future video. The first one is, what are the best selling items on Etsy? Well, that's a can of worms because, I have students who are selling $5 digital products, making over $25,000 a month. And then I have students who are selling $15,000 tables and everything in between. So it's not about a specific best-selling item. I would say each category, digital, print on demand, handmade, supplies, and vintage, have, I would say, best sellers that are trending really well right now. But what I would say is focus on creating a bestseller with a specific type of product that is called a loss leader. You want to get at least 20 sales per day on this listing, and it should be your shop's bestseller. This is going to elevate the ranking of your other listings in your shop, and this is a strategy that huge retailers use, everywhere from Zappos, where I worked, to Costco. And another note on this is I wouldn't be thinking about best-selling items on Etsy. I would think about the best customers to sell to on Etsy, which usually that's not going to be product focused. That is customer focused. And then you build your product mix for them. That way you'll have a really strong LTV, which is the lifetime value of your customer. I love selling to moms. Moms love personalization. Moms shop for everyone in the family and everyone that the family knows. How can I improve my Etsy SEO? This one is very straightforward, and it's the biggest mistake that I see. People are focusing on the product and not the purpose or utility. Huge difference. Think about, let's say we're selling dangly earrings like these, right? Are we gonna call these, beaded daisy 5-centimeter hoop with gold backing? We're not gonna call those that. We're gonna call these fun summer dangly earrings, right? It's really about focusing less on the product and the details and the specifics and more on the purpose and utility. What problem is that solving? Who is wearing it? What are they using it for? Why are they buying it? And what problem is it solving? Because even earrings can solve a problem. What are some successful Etsy shop examples? Now, this is a fun one because I will not reveal my students' shops, right? They trust me with their shops and their success, and I do not reveal their shops unless they allow me to or they want to. And we do have some interviews of our students on the channel who have allowed us to reveal their shops. So definitely check those out under our student testimonials because those are typically examples of good shops, successful shops. What I would caution you against is going to, eRank or Everbee and just looking up the top Etsy shops and thinking that those are successful Etsy shops, because we don't want to try to emulate people who are already Olympic athletes, right? We want to look at who is on their way to becoming an Olympic athlete and what are they doing? What is the training? What is the grind? What are they putting in right now that is going to get them there? Because that's what you have to focus on. Don't focus on what it will be like when you're there, what you have to do once you're there. How are you going to even get there? So I recommend looking at the top Etsy shops that have started in the last 12 months, and success leaves clues. Take a look at those shops and look at what they did to become successful. So a shop that maybe got to $1 million within its first year and they started within the last 12 to 18 months, that would be a good shop to look at. We don't want to look at a shop that started 10 years ago and now they're doing $1 million a year. It's not going to help you. How do I create a cohesive brand on Etsy? That is a great question. A lot of people get really super niche, like hyper focused on a specific niche, and they think that that will be their brand. But a niche is not a brand, right? A brand is all about positive associations with who you are, what you stand for, what you sell, what your experience is like. What I recommend when thinking about your brand is not just thinking about the colors and the font, right? You want to be thinking about the whole experience and who you associate with, what you associate with. And for example, let's say you are selling print-on-demand t-shirts. It would make a big difference if your mock-ups have a model that is holding a Stanley Cup. Obviously, we're not going to show the logo, but maybe the silhouette of the Stanley Cup versus a mock-up where the person is holding like a vintage antique teacup. Totally different vibes, right? What is going to be more on brand for your shop? What we want to be is consistent. And if you're not consistent, you're not going to have a strong brand. So that means consistent across Etsy as well as social media, your website, and so forth. You don't want to have a different brand on different platforms. You want to be serving the same type of customer. Maybe that's colors they appreciate. Maybe that's fonts they appreciate, designs. Have your mock-ups be cohesive in a way where they look like they could belong in the same catalog, not the same exact mock-up. Cohesive does not mean matching. What are the most profitable categories on Etsy? Things that have purpose or utility and help you save time or make money or save money. Those are always going to be the most profitable, consistent categories to sell in on Etsy. Something with high function, high purpose, high utility, or saves you time, saves you money, makes you money. And if you're thinking about what should I add to my shop, I recommend having it fall under one of those categories. What are the top tools for Etsy sellers? I actually think one of the top tools is Etsy Stats itself, which is free, surprise, and Canva. I do think you should have Canva. Now, the free version of Canva is doable, so you don't have to be paying for tools. And really, no matter what category you sell in, I think you will need Canva. What are the top mistakes to avoid on Etsy? This is easy. Stop copying what's working on Etsy. Don't look to Etsy for your ideas because you're 6 to 8 months too late. Etsy is one of the last places to get trends, so you don't want to be doing all of your trend research on the Etsy platform. Instead, I recommend looking outside of Etsy so that we are bringing trends to the platform and you're becoming a market leader. That is one of the biggest mistakes to avoid. Almost everyone who we start to work with in our program was doing some level of that beforehand. So keeping your eyes outside of Etsy for inspiration. What is Etsy's star seller program? Okay, there is a lot of hype around the star seller, and I've even had people say, I lost my star seller, should I just shut my shop down? No, you guys, my best month ever was when I was not a star seller. Etsy's parameters for star seller, they say great customer service, excellent ratings, timely shipping and tracking, at least 5 sales worth $300. I would not put too much weight in that basket. What is the best way to package my Etsy products? Okay, recycled packaging, you guys. Just use your Amazon boxes. Start with that. Bubble wrap, air pockets, all of that, recycled packaging. And if you are ordering inventory, order in bulk, especially from places like Michael's and Hobby Lobby, and you can reuse all of that extra packaging. Just put a little sticker on the outside of your box that says we're eco-friendly, and that will save you from any haters. If you're looking to purchase packaging, I actually don't recommend Uline. I recommend Amazon and Staples, and sometimes Office Depot. And that is if you are in the US. How can I create Etsy listing videos? You can create these in Canva if you are using mockups, or just do it on your phone and make sure accelerate the speed on your videos, you guys. Because if someone is hovering over it in search results and it is moving slowly, it will just look like another photo. Speed it way up, 5x, 10x, whatever you have to do. How do I manage multiple Etsy shops? Don't. Get one really, I would say, out of the sprint and into the marathon phase before you open a second shop. You need to have momentum with one before jumping onto creating more. Some of my students have up to 5 shops. They create one shop that does, 300, 400, 500,000. Then they create a second shop, same thing, and they wash, rinse, repeat on multiple shops. They're not starting 5 shops on the same day, that's for sure. So if you need guidance on that, just reach out, but do not start opening shop after shop. You don't need a shop for each product, a shop for each niche. We don't want to do that. And the reason being is your efforts will be diluted. And if you are putting in 20% effort on 5 different shops, there's no way you're going to win against your competitor who's putting in 100% effort behind one shop. All right, I hope these 10 rapid fire questions were valuable to you. If you have extra questions you'd like answered in our next video, just leave a comment and we will get to it. And please subscribe if you like our videos or find any value in them, and we'll keep making more. Thanks, guys.
I've gone from about $1,500 to $2,000 in revenue a month to currently, before the month's finished, $4,200 in revenue. I only joined multi-6-figure Etsy Blueprint about 4 weeks ago now,